Hi everyone, welcome to the Audio Hotline, the podcast and YouTube channel where I review podcasting gear as well as other audio production equipment. I'm your host Bronson, and today I have an awesome microphone for you. It's actually famous for Fergie taking a piss on it. That didn't happen. That never happened, and I'm sorry I got your hopes up like that. I just wanted it to seem cool, but I shouldn't have lied. I apologize. We're off on a bad foot here, okay? I'm sorry. So today we have the CAD E100S in the studio. And it's, kind of a podcasting microphone as well as a voiceover microphone, and just kind of known as a spoken word microphone in general. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm using to record this today in case you want to get a similar sound, and let's see if you potentially want to buy this microphone for your own podcast or voiceovers. So today I'm using the Zoom H5, and I apologize if I bump anything, but it is a great little portable recorder, has great preamps, sounds good, and can power 48 volts of phantom power, which is required for this microphone. So I don't know if you could see that, but I'm about at 45%, maybe a little bit over that. And I'm using a Mogami cable, and I'm holding it with the Rode boom arm. It's a good one. And as you can tell right now, I am using a Stedman Pro Screen pop filter. It is a metal pop filter, and I'm kind of known to have a lot of plosives. And I think that anyone who's going to use a super cardioid microphone like this is probably going to run into some issues with plosives. So you may want to get one of these or get something like it to curb your plosives. I will, however, do a test later without the screen, but I didn't want it to be totally brutal for your ears. So let's go ahead and get started with the specs. So like I said earlier, this is a super cardioid condenser microphone that does require 48 volts of phantom power. It has 150 decibels of impedance, and it also has a noise floor that is the best in class according to CAD, the company that makes this. And the noise floor is essentially what the mic produces on its own without a sound source. So if you have this microphone plugged in and you're not talking into it at all, there will be 3.7 decibels of noise. But that is really low, very low. The Rode NT1A is known for being so quiet, and it has a 4.5 decibel noise floor, I believe, somewhere in there. But I know that this one's quieter. So that's a really great thing about this microphone. This microphone does have a couple buttons on it, couple switches. It has a 10 decibel pad on the front, as well as a high pass filter that filters below 80 hertz. The frequency response on this microphone is 40 hertz to 18 kilohertz, which is a little different for a condenser mic. A lot of condenser mics have the 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, so this is a little bit different. But the one thing I will say, I don't know if you can see it in the back, but there is a frequency chart back there on my computer screen, but it is extremely flat. I believe it has a little bit of a boost before 5 kilohertz to 10 kilohertz, but everything else is just bang. It's not bang, bang, it's bang. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a heart monitor. Do I have to spell it out for you, Jim? If your name's Jim, you're probably freaked out right now. I'm just saying. Now I'm going to go through a couple tests for this microphone. And like I was saying earlier, this is kind of a podcast voiceover microphone, so I'm just going to test it like that. I won't really do any musical stuff or anything like that. So if you're here for that, I apologize, but this is more of a podcast microphone to begin with, so I want to, give those people a chance to hear this. And also, if you're a video gamer, I have heard that the background noise rejection on this is actually fantastic, so we will also test that. So let's get into that. So here is how the microphone sounds without a pop filter in place. I'm going to go ahead and say some P's like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled penises or something like that. I don't know the saying, but I think that one's probably better than the way it is. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a proximity test. This might hurt a little bit more because I'm going to be closer, so the plosives will get a little worse. Here's a proximity test of this microphone, and if you tend to eat the microphone, this is sort of the sound that you could expect. When you get close to a microphone like this, it will bring out the bass in your voice. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the pop filter on. So it'll put more bass in your voice when you get the proximity effect, but it will also make those plosives really bad and really hard to listen to. So if you do like eating the microphone, a good way to curb some of these issues is to actually use the high pass filter. So I'm going to go ahead and engage that right now while I'm close up to the mic. So here's a test with a pop filter in place as well as the high pass filter engaged. This is a good way to curb some of those bassy issues that you can have when you get the proximity effect going. And if you like eating the microphone, I suggest using something like this with the high pass filter engaged. And this is what the microphone sounds like with the high pass filter engaged, just at a regular distance. I'm a few inches away from it. Now the high pass filter is not engaged anymore, and you can kind of hear a little bit more bass in my voice, and it sounds a little bit more even throughout. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the negative 10 decibel. So this is what it sounds like with the 10 decibel pad. And if you are going to be recording really loud sources, this is a good way to do that, to use the pad and, get a better result and not clip or anything. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the background noise rejection test. I'm using an Apple keyboard. I assume a lot of you podcasters use that, so this will give you an idea of what that will sound like. So I'm going to go ahead and bang on this keyboard. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera a little bit. And I'm banging on this keyboard like way harder than anyone ever should. And this is what it sounds like when I'm talking in the microphone and banging on a keyboard behind it. So I know there was more tests that I could have done, but I honestly just kind of wanted to do some of the basic podcasting tests, some of the things that you may need for voiceovers and podcasting and gaming. One thing I will disclaim about this microphone is that a lot of people have received it and it has a hiss to it, and I personally have not experienced this, but there actually have been quite a few people that have. So one thing that I did watch on the YouTubes is there is this channel out there called The Booth Junkie, and his name is Mike Delgadio, and he kind of swears by this microphone, and his microphone actually had a hiss like that, and he sent it to CAD, and they did take care of it. So, one thing that you can look forward to is that if you receive this microphone and it does have a hiss, they can take care of it, but it's kind of frustrating to buy a brand new microphone, get it out of the box, so stoked to use it, and you're like, awesome, it has like a totally intolerable hiss to it. Perfect. So that's one bad thing about this microphone that I will just let you know about it. Let me tell you a little bit of my history with this microphone. I've had it for about a year. And I used it, quite a bit at first. And then it kind of just started rotting in my closet. So about a week ago, I decided I'm going to sell it. I'm going to put it on Reverb. Great site, by the way, great site. And I'm going to sell it. I got so many questions about whether it has the hiss. Like, hey, does it have the hiss? But dude, does it really have the hiss? Or are you just lying because you want to sell it? No, it doesn't have the hiss. So one thing I decided to do was to bust out the camera, record the audio, and show these people who were potential buyers that it doesn't, in fact, have this hiss to it, right? So I record the video, I get it done, and I listen back. And I, no joke, was like, holy shit, why am I going to sell this microphone? This microphone sounds fantastic. So I immediately went on Reverb, praying to the Lordsies that it hadn't sold. And luckily it hadn't. I took it off the market immediately and decided that I'm never going to sell this thing because I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's the perfect podcast microphone. It's a great, voiceover microphone, great for YouTube. It's just so great for spoken word. It is. It just sounds awesome. It sounds so natural. It's so flat. It's easy to dip some of the problem frequencies out. It's easy to boost some of the good frequencies, And a lot of microphones, you have to do a lot of EQing, and this one is just so flat and so responsive to a way a person's voice sounds that it's great. It's just perfect for those things. I personally have tried singing into it, and it's initially what turned me off. I wasn't a big fan of it. So if you're going to use it for music, it does sound okay on acoustics. It'll sound good on some things, and maybe your voice will be good for it. Give it a shot. But I recommend that if you do podcasts, if you do YouTube, if you do music, if you do these things, this is a good microphone to have around and just try it on different stuff. I guarantee it's going to land on something. It's going to sound awesome. So I looked on Google to see the reviews and to see if I kind of agreed with it. And it's a 4.7 out of 5. And honestly, I completely agree. I think that's a great rating for it. I think because of how good it sounds on spoken word and what it's used for, absolutely a 4.7. I think that's a good rating. The only downfall I will give it is that I personally don't think it's for music, and I do a lot of music, so that's a little bit of a turnoff for me, but still, like, for what I use it for and what I personally need it for, I think it's perfect. So a 4.7 is excellent. I absolutely recommend it. Go get this microphone if you have a podcast or you do voiceovers or if you do gaming YouTube videos. Hopefully it doesn't have that hiss though. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Audio Hotline. I'll see you next time.